Hello, everyone, from Seattle, Washington. I'm Bill O'Mara, sports director of the King Broadcasting Company. The Kentucky Derby of the speedboat racing world, the Gold Cup, presented its 48th running on Sunday, August 7, 1955, before the nation's largest sports crowd of over 500,000 spectators, who jammed miles of shoreline on Lake Washington, craned their necks from 1,007 boats moored along the log boom, and followed the rooster tails of these competing boats in the Gold Cup from the nearby hills and vantage points, watching the fastest water sport known to man, the Gold Cup. A maximum of 12 boats would be eligible to compete out of a possible list of 22. The 90-mile race, with an emphasis on speed and durability, included some of the best-known boats and drivers now competing. Of the many new possible entries, considerable interest was aroused, of course, by the twin entry of Miss Thriftway and Rebel Sir. Miss Thriftway, owned by the Associated Grocery Group with stores in Alaska and the Pacific Northwest, and Rebel Sir, co-owned by the well-known Pacific Northwest man of races, Ted Jones, who incidentally had designed Slow Motion 4 and Slow Motion 5. This 48th running of the Gold Cup was to see the return to action of the music maestro, the Royal Canadian man, Guy Lombardo, with his Tempo 7. Only 12 would start the first heat on August 7th, and some 13 boats showed up to compete for those 12 starting positions. The Gold Cup week of time trials, covered in its entirety by King TV on Channel 5, produced a great many outstanding thrills. The actual week of qualifying started rather slowly, and then certainly gathered momentum. The first boat to qualify was Guy Lombardo's Tempo 7, qualifying at a record-breaking speed of 116+ miles per hour with Danny Foster at the wheel. This record-breaking attempt followed within the hour Joe Taggart driving Slow Motion 4, and the Stan Sayers driver promptly topped the mark set by Tempo 7, going 117.391 miles per hour. There was a lull in activity the next few days, and then starting with Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, some 7 or 8 boats had qualified when Lou Fagel, driving the defending champion Slow Motion 5, came on the course Friday at noon at Lake Washington to attempt qualification. Lou clearly indicated that he was going to try to break that existing qualifying record by stating the water was too rough for his try now. He returned to the pits until 4:30 that afternoon. At that time, the thousands of people watching from the shore, the barge, and the log boom saw him make the first 2 laps at 117.391 miles per hour. And then one of the most spectacular incidents ever recorded on film occurred at that point. Watch this.
Her time, 117.39. We're in the back stretch of the 3rd lap of qualifying. He's a quarter of the way through the back stretch in his 3rd lap. He's halfway through the back stretch. He's 3/4 of the way through the back stretch, and he's moving into the... Oh! He went completely around. I don't know whether Lou is still in the boat or not. Is he out of the water? He fell out of the water, clear of the water. Can you find him, Al? The Slow Motion 5 is in the north turn, making one complete flip.
Fortunately for all concerned, particularly Lou Fagel, he escaped with his life and stated in the hospital that he was withdrawing from active driving competition as of that moment. On the day of the race, Sunday, August 7, 1955, a beautiful day at Lake Washington, Zephyr Fury, owned by Ray Crawford, did not attempt to qualify, just couldn't get up enough speed. And Such Crush 3, owned by Jack Schaefer of Detroit and driven by veteran Walt Cady, did succeed in qualifying just 15 minutes before the start of the race. And so an entry list of a possible 22 boats was cut down now to a field of 10 boats, as George Simon, the owner-driver of Miss U.S., a boat that had qualified earlier in the week at 102 miles per hour, withdrew at the last moment because of mechanical difficulty. Of a field of 10 for the 1955 Gold Cup, the Detroit strategy received a boost when they were able to secure a change in the flying start, so that no boat could start from underneath the bridge on the opposite side 1 minute before the gun sounded. The field of 10 boats did not include Slow Motion 5, which was too badly damaged following Lou Fagel's fabulous flip. As the first heat got underway, Slow Motion 4 crossed the line first. Gale 5, though, was first going into the south turn. Gale 4 was second away over the line. Miss Cadillac and Tempo 7 followed. Tempo, however, slowed at the north turn and turned into the Mount Baker pits before completion of the first lap. It was found out later that Danny Foster was sprayed with gasoline and the oil pressure was dropping in Tempo 7. She was out for the day. Slow Motion 4 passed Gale 5 in the south turn of the 3rd lap. Slow Motion 4 then had a 9-second lead at the start of the 4th lap. Slow Motion lapped breathless at the end of the 5th lap, and Scooter 2 had sunk at the pits before the start of the 1st lap. Rebel Sir went dead in the water at the south turn of the 7th lap, and Miss Thriftway lapped breathless at the completion of the 7th lap. Gale 4 also lapped breathless, Such Crust didn't even get started. Both Slow Motion 4 and Gale 5 broke the heat record set by Miss Pepsi in 1951. Slow Motion 4, the winner of that first heat with a record lap average speed of 103.159. Gale 5 was second, driven by Lee Shonuth. Miss Thriftway was third. Gale 4 was fourth. Miss Cadillac and Breathless rounded out the field. Out of 10 boats that had started, 6 finished. Slow Motion 4 had as her best lap the third, 107 miles per hour. It was a new record. In the second heat, a total of 8 boats came out. Gale 4 went dead in the water at the south turn in the first lap, and Rebel Saw sank off the Mount Baker pits at the start of the second heat. And here's what happened.
Slow Motion 4 coming around on that inside lane. Such Quest 3 is inside her. Joe Taggart in Slow Motion 4 is driving a little bit wider this time. And the Gale, of course, typical, is coming on the outside. Both of the Gale boats are turning wide. Here we are lining up for position. They're coming down. 20 seconds to go. It's going to be very, very close. 15. 10 seconds. It's going to be another close one. There will be no doubt that they'll all get... Here comes the Thriftway from out of the back. As she timed it up perfectly, let's see if she jumps the gun. Here comes Gale 5. That's Thriftway and Gale 5 pushed across the line. Slow Motion 4 way back. As Joe Taggart in Slow Motion 4 can't seem to get underway. Here's the race from the south turn. Thriftway and Gale. There's a boat up by the Mount Baker pit in the water, and here's the south turn camera that gives you Gale 5 batting into that south turn. Man, look at that Lee Shonuth ride that race. Slow Motion 4 got off on the inside lane, but got off very poorly. She was fourth or fifth across the line to start. And here's the race in the south turn. Breathless, the boat in the water out here by the Mount Baker pit. We'll try to give you more information. It looks like she's sinking. All right, here's the race up the back stretch. Gale 5 was first into that corner, and he's taking quite a duel with Thriftway, who timed her start beautifully, too. Here's your first place race, and there's quite a race out in there with the next 3 boats. Such Quest is running third, the largest boat in the race. And now some of the other boats are beginning to fall, and almost 4 is still way back. Here's that race for first place, halfway up the backstretch. Breathless is running. There must be another boat out there. It's down. Here's your first place boat. Miss Thriftway is first into the north turn. Gale 5 is second. And Such Quest 3 is third. And Slow Motion 4 is fourth. And Miss Cadillac is running fifth. Or is that Gale? That's another Gale boat over there. And Breathless is last. Here's the north turn race. We're out of the north turn now, getting ready to complete the first lap of the second heat of the Gold Cup. Gale 5 trying to get down there. Miss Thriftway making her bid with Bill Munsey at the wheel, completing his first lap. Miss Thriftway coming down across the line first in the first lap in the second heat. Here's the second place boat, Gale 5. And the third place boat, Such Quest 3. And the fourth place boat is jumping badly. It's Slow Motion 4 as Joe Taggart can't seem to get it to go. She's going very slowly. Slow Motion 4 is fourth. Here's the race into the south turn with Miss Thriftway doing a beautiful job out there in the corners and Bill Munsey doing a great job with her. Miss Cadillac is fifth, just across. Here's the time on the first lap, 105.4. Maybe we're on our way to a new record. Breathless is now just coming around the north turn and is completing her first lap. Rebel Straw is the one that was sinking over here by the Mount Baker pit. Here's your race into the south turn. Now out of that south turn and into the backstretch. Here's your beautiful race for first and second, ladies and gentlemen. Slow Motion 4 is still running in fourth place, coming out of the bottom part of the south turn. Miss Thriftway is out in front. And boy, does she like this water. Look at her go. And in second place is Gale 5 with Lee Shonuth at the wheel. Third place has Such Quest 3 running a very steady race. She likes this water condition out here. And in fourth place is Slow Motion 4, which now begins to move a little bit better. Joe seems to be able to move her up a little bit, and he may be able to catch Such Quest 3. Here's the second place boat. Gale 5 has Miss Swiftway in the lead in his second heat and completing the second lap as he goes into the north turn for the second time. Miss Swiftway driven by Bill Muncy. In third place is Such Quest 3, and Joe Taggart in slow motion 4 seems to be able to get the grand old lady underway as he's beginning to move up on Such Quest 3. Here's the race into the north turn with Miss Swiftway still leading, coming out of the north turn now and heading for the completion of her second lap of the second heat. The first heat was won by Slow Motion 4, which is now in fourth place and just going into the north turn. Gale 5 is second. There's the completion of the second lap for Miss Swiftway, still in the lead. Gale 5 is second across the line. Such Quest 3 is now coming across the line for completion of her second lap. And Slow Motion 4 is out of the north turn now and in the straightaway, coming in fourth place at the end of the second lap. Gale 4 is still running in fifth place. And Breathless is running in sixth. Here's the south turn battle as Miss Swiftway has opened up quite a bit of distance between herself and Gale 5. Miss Swiftway first into the south turn. And there she is, right there for you. Here's the battle in first and second, third and fourth. Miss Cadillac is just now completing her second lap. The time, 102.75 on the second lap. First lap was 105.47. Here's the lead boat for you in the backstretch. That's Miss Swiftway, driven by Bill Muncy, a 26-year-old boy, very affable, very personable. And the team of Ted Jones and Bill Muncy driving a beautiful race right now on Miss Swiftway as she caught everybody by surprise. Here's Slow Motion 4 on the south turn. She's still fourth, and she's gaining a little bit on Such Quest 3. She's beginning to make her move right now. And I think she's going to catch. Here's the lead boat for you. Miss Swiftway, three-quarters of the way through the back stretch. In second place, we have Gale 5, and in third place, Such Quest 3, and there's a torrid battle on as Slow Motion 4 begins to crawl up on Such Quest 3 as he attempts to pass her in the backstretch. Here's the battle for third and fourth place with Joe Taggart on the inside, trying to get up on top of Such Quest 3, but Walt Katie's driving a beautiful race in Such Quest 3. We're coming around the turn now with Miss Swiftway in the lead, completing her third lap of the second heat of the Gold Cup. In second place is Gale 5 on the top part of the north turn. In third place is Such Quest 3, and she's beginning to slow down considerably, and Joe Taggart may take her coming out of the north turn. Miss Swiftway has completed lap number 3 in first place. Here's the second place boat, Gale 5, coming out of the north turn and headed for completion of her second lap. The third lap.
At the end of two heats, Slow Motion 4 had the fastest average time figured in miles per hour, followed by Gale 5 and Miss Swiftway in that order. Now, it was soon evident, looking over our figures on the finish line barge, that the 400 bonus points at 60 miles for the fastest heat belonged to Slow Motion 4 on her record-breaking performance in the first heat, and she would get those if she could finish the race. And, of course, to win it, to win the Gold Cup itself, she must finish ahead of Gale 5. Miss Swiftway, for her part, would have to finish that third heat in better than 104 miles per hour to bring her average up for the 90 miles so that she could be in contention for the 400 bonus points available for the fastest average time for the total of 90 miles. This, then, was the situation as we started the final heat of the 1955 Gold Cup with a total of 7 boats in all, starting the third heat.
6 boats in all starting this third heat of the Gold Cup. Slow Motion 4 bucking around the inside corner. Miss Swiftway is going wide. Joe Taggart is staying real close inside. This is just about the way they started before, except that there's a boat coming down on that inside corner. Joe Taggart now begins to swing wide, killing a little more time. Down comes another boat on the outside part of the lane as they cross over. Cadillac is the one that's pushing Slow Motion 4 in. Here comes the start. It's 7 seconds away. There'll be no false start. It's going to be very, very close indeed. Here comes Slow Motion 4 in between boats. Slow Motion 4. Miss Swiftway got away in fourth spot. And Slow Motion 4 is moving toward that south turn like we've never seen her before. A perfect start, ladies and gentlemen. Slow Motion 4 getting away to a beautiful start. We'll pick up the rest of the boats as we get out of that south turn and see how things went. Joe Taggart really, really went to town on that one in Slow Motion 4. All right, he's first into that south turn. And, brother, he's really moving that boat. Here's your race for you as they go into that south turn. He must have been going flat out at about 160 miles an hour out of nothing. He's out of the south turn. Gale 5 is second, fourth. And Such Crest, we'll have to wait now for the boats to move up so we can get the exact position. There's quite a race in there for second, third, and fourth, with Slow-Mo beating it up that backstretch in a beautiful straightaway run. Slow Motion 4, Swiftway has now moved into second place. Such Crest is third. And Gale 5 is fifth. She got off to a poor start. And so did Miss Swiftway, for that matter. Slow Motion 4, three-quarters of the way through the backstretch. And Such Crest 3 with Walt Katie at the wheel is doing a wonderful job in second place. And Gale 5 is third. Evidently Miss Swiftway is buried in the spray, Phil Schwartz tells me, on the outside of Such Crest 3 as they go into the north turn. Here's the north turn now for you as Slow Motion 4 with Joe Taggart at the wheel comes around to complete his first lap of the third heat of the Gold Cup. And here's your race for first and second, post Seattle boat. And here comes Miss Swiftway. Look at that tremendous burst of speed. A wonderful race, ladies and gentlemen, in this third heat of the Gold Cup. Joe Taggart in Slow Motion 4 out in front, and Miss Swiftway in second place. And in third place, Walt Katie in Such Crest 3. We're in the backstretch, halfway through the backstretch. Slow Motion 4 is still leading, but Miss Swiftway is definitely gaining. Now here's the battle for first and second, and on that backstretch, Miss Swiftway definitely did pick up on Joe Taggart. Now it'll be a battle to see who can get that in stretch. Miss Swiftway is really moving up. Even on the outside, she's coming up. And Slow Motion 4 has gone dead in the water as Miss Swiftway takes over the lead at the beginning of the seventh lap of the third heat. Miss Swiftway coming out of the north turn. Such Crest 3 is coming into the north turn, second place. Gale 5 is third. We'll have to wait for the official times, ladies and gentlemen, before we can find out about these bonus points. Here comes Miss Swiftway. Miss Swiftway, the winner of the third heat. And Gale 5 is coming up into the north turn. Walt Katie is just coming out of the second turn as Bill Huntley in Miss Swiftway wins the third heat of the Gold Cup.
Those watching at home and elsewhere to Channel 5, KING-TV, had seen a double victory celebration and knew the true winner of the 1955 Gold Cup. However, most of the 500,000 spectators that lined the shores of Lake Washington started for home thinking that Miss Swiftway was the winner of the Gold Cup because she had finished first in two of the three heats and third in the other one. However, total elapsed time is the thing that decides the winner in this race of the Gold Cup, and after checking the figures, the official scores indicated that Gale 5 of Detroit, driven by Lee Shonath, had finished in a total elapsed time of 54 minutes, 16 and 20 seconds, to Miss Swiftway's time of 54.20.73, a difference of around 4 seconds, and that told the story. And that is the story of the 48th running of the 1955 Gold Cup.